Hello there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the premiere, well the pilot episode, sorry, of a Guild Wars 2 Online PvP analysis gameplay video. We haven't really got a name for this, but we will come up with something more witty if you like the idea of this show. So basically the idea is we're going to break down this player's gameplay. It's not a perfect match, and that's the whole point of this. We're going to say what they do right, what they do wrong, and stuff like that. Leave me some comments and feedback below as to what you think of this and what we can do better. It's a bit rough around the edges in general, but I hope you do enjoy it. So we were capping that point. We had too many players there from the red team arrive, and we see this blue player there heading towards the clock tower, not heading over here. So we're not going to make a rush, so we can just head up towards the clock tower now. A good point here to make as well is this is a nice little shortcut on the Battle of Kylo onto those boxes and then up onto this roof. From here, you would jump to the left onto the roof directly to the side of us, and then across onto the balcony of the clock tower. This of course saves you a lot of time, it gets you on point quicker, and the sooner you get to that point, the faster you can start capping it and trying to defeat the players there. Obviously it's very important. However, this player fails to make the jump. I think that's because he was shooting at the same time and doesn't actually make it onto the roof next to him. So it is possible, and it's something to obviously bear in mind that you can do. So the clock tower wall being knocked out there by some trebuchet fire. So we're staying out to the side a little bit now. This window's a really good position for the Rangers to take up, as obviously it gives you a bit of a vantage point over the capture point without putting yourself in any real danger. No one can really get over to you unless they flash or go all the long way around. So you can definitely support your teammates very well without putting yourself in any risk. The downside you can see at the moment though, you can't always see what's going on. There's sort of camera angle issues that you will find. Your player's line of sight though, the actual character's line of sight isn't really hindered too badly, so you can see what's going on. They can see what's going on even if you can't. So we're just seeing a ranger coming up here now for the blue team. So we're going to break down the positioning in this fight and what the players are doing to outmaneuver each other. So we're tucking in nice and closely up against the wall there, avoiding them trying to stay back. I think we actually dodged a knockback arrow there. They actually just fired at us, so we did well to avoid that. But yeah, we're basically positioning ourselves so we're up against the wall so we can't get knocked back off the ledge or anything like that. We're going to counter directly with another knockback arrow. Unfortunately, for some reason, we're targeting their pet. You can't knock pets off ledges. You can knock players off, which is obviously what both these players are trying to do. So we're now switching over to the actual player. You can see the blue player has tucked in really tight up against the wall, obviously knowing we were going to go for the knockback as well. So both these players now are just trying to get the best positioning they can, trying to do a bit of line of sighting with the corner there perhaps as well. Both of us just trying to stay nice and tight. See both players there doing a very good job at just tucking in close up against the wall. Now the longbow is not very powerful at this sort of close range. The normal one skill deals less damage the closer you are. So we just popped our heal off here. This is important to take a note of. Quite early on, it's healed us back up, but it's quite early really in this fight. They still haven't used their heal. Following it up with a barrage. I'm not sure why we really went for that in this sort of engagement. It's probably not really worth it. It does deal obviously constant damage, and you can attack different skills. Both players they're going for the barrage. So this is the important moment now. This blue player is popping their heal up. They're using healers ones. This directly heals yourself and your pet, but it's only on a 20-second cooldown. Our skill is on a 30-second cooldown and 22 seconds left of it now. So their heal will be back up before ours. As you can see by their health ball shooting up at the top, they're now on a lot more HP than us as well. So this is going to put us at a pretty solid disadvantage at the moment in this fight. So we're instantly going to go for a knockback and just get them out of the fight and just to live another day. So it was good position there from our player to get rid of them nice and quickly when that issue arose. However, like I said, you can't get rid of the Jaguar, and that's going to cause us some real issues now, as that's actually going to bring us down. They can deal some pretty heavy damage, actually, the pets, when they do attack properly. So yeah, just general kiting back a little bit here, not particularly interesting. Here comes that ranger coming back into the fray. That wasn't really the best move for him. He probably should have left that fight alone. There's a lot of players now from the red team there. He's pushed back. So we're now to go and do a little bit of scouting over the map and just see what's going on. This is a very important role of a ranger on this map, is to stay yourself up nice and high. Don't put yourself in any danger you don't need to. So attacking there against that Mesmer down on the ground. You can just see how far the range of the longbow really is when you're just able to sit up here and just support your teammates so well without putting yourself in any real danger at all. Now though, we're coming down onto the clock tower. There's a bit of a fray going on here, so we're going to have to come in and support our teammates on the front lines. So kiting around that bubble, I wasn't sure whether that's our team or the enemies. I think it is probably our teams, but this player just seemed to kite around it anyway, playing it safe so they don't get CC'd by it. Now just a bit of positioning going on here. We've got this engineer for the blue team. We're positioning ourselves nice and well for another knockback. And great use of that knockback there, sending that player as far back as actually possible to knock him on this area. So he's sent flying back, a good CC there from the Guardian as well, laying down that circle of wardings. That's basically going to secure the red team a good bit of defensive positioning on this capture point. It's a general fight going on now, nothing particularly interesting to point out. Red team sort of cleaning house there, doing a very good job. Just clean that up. The great CC there was the really important thing to point out. That knockback from the Ranger, and then the line of warding being laid down by the Guardian as well, just keeping everyone at bay. Coming out now, we've got a Warrior engaging on us, but the red team have just got that critical mass on this point. However, this is an important point that we can now make. This build is a bleeding combo build. Basically, it's half bleeding and half normal damage, like direct damage. So it stacks up bleeding on chance, really. It has the trait to stack up bleeding on chance and the 60% chance to add a stack of bleeding on crits, sigils and the weapons. So you do stack up fairly well when you use skills such as the number 4 skill on the Warhorn, which you can see being applied there on that warrior. It's stacking up a hell of a lot of bleeding damage on them now, up to 14 stacks, 20 stacks, 22 stacks. Of course, some of those may have come from our teammates as well, but that number 4 skill does certainly apply them very well. Is that warrior going down, and we come in for the finisher. Other ways to stack up bleeding, of course, as well. You've got the number 2 skill on the axe of this build. It fires out 5 axes, which each apply a stack of bleeding. But if you fire them very close, they will all hit the same target. We're going to see now a pretty heavy weakness of this build. We're getting CC pretty heavily. We've got a lot of bleeding on us, and it's going to bring us down. This build doesn't really have great condition removal, only in the heal. And it doesn't really have much defense. It has the number 3 utility skill. This player didn't get it off in time. While that is a fantastic skill and this build could certainly be played better, this player did not manage to do it. And it doesn't have the best defense. You can be brought down very quickly, as we just saw. Defensive wise, I'll just run through what it does have. The heal, of course, heals you, heals allies around you a little bit, and also removes conditions and applies regeneration. And we've also got the third utility skill there. We can see it was actually on cooldown, so the player couldn't have used it if they wanted to. But that applies a 6-second invulnerability to yourself if you have it traded to do that. So it's absolutely fantastic skill, as you can imagine. Now we've got a very important moment happening here. We've got 2 players down there. One player is down for RT, that's a warrior, and he's being attacked by this necromancer. We can't really finish off that necromancer before they'll be able to finish off the warrior. So they've got a lot of HP, so we're going to have to provide some CC. Warrior there with the knockdown, that's one of his down abilities, and us coming in with a knockback. This is such an important part of the game, is actually learning how to revive and support your teammates. How to get your finishes off on your enemies and how to revive your teammates is so important. We're getting a nice quick rally on our teammate there, turning the fight around and just dropping that necromancer down incredibly quickly. So supporting your teammates is such a vital part of the game. You want to learn how, every build should really have some form of CC, some sort of interrupt, knockdown, knockback, anything really. But you need something to stop players from finishing off a teammate, and you also want something to help you when you're trying to finish off someone. So this could be a quickness boon, perhaps. The warrior does very well with that with the 100 blades ball charge build. They often, if they finish someone off, have a little bit of that quickness boon left on them to actually get the finishing move sped up. Another good thing is the thief can of course use it while in stealth, which obviously gives them basically stops them being able to be interrupted as well. So absolutely fantastic really to know your tactics on how to finish players off. Good positioning here from our ranger once again, just sitting in that window sniping inside. You see this player just racking up quite a lot of assists on all these kills. Again, we're just keeping up on that high ground. positioning ourselves. Doesn't look like we're going to have another attack coming at the central point, however. There's a bit of a fray going over there. So the little way we're taking a bit of a roundabout way there, but actually starts to take any falling damage, which is of course very important. You don't want to be hurting yourself before you get into a fight, and if you're actually in combat you run a bit slower as well, so you want to be avoiding taking any falling damage. That does make the game think you're in combat and slows your running speed down a bit. The red team here is providing great CC, bottlenecking the blue team back towards their spawn, pushing this guardian back. So always some players down there for the blue team currently engaged, dropping a cripple down on them. So, yeah, sorry, that was the barrage, it cripples is what I was trying to say. Unload combined with the sharpening stone and the quickness ability to stack up a hell of a lot of damage on that player. So yeah, the red team here just bottlenecking the blues back into their spawn. The blues have got tunnel vision. They're focusing on the kills rather than the points. I mean, they've got 2 points captured at the moment, but they don't really want to be messing around here too much. You could be wasting this time. They want to be like getting on their trebuchet, things like that. The red team is so close to winning the game. They really need to sort out their act, the blues, a little bit. So we're taking some heavy damage there. We've got players engaging against us now from the blue team. We did try to use our our elite skill a couple of times there. We got interrupted. That provides us stability. Again, we're trying to use it right now. However, we get interrupted there. It goes on a 3-4 second cooldown. We've got to wait for it. Heal's coming up. Pop the heal. Line of sight. So a good use there of the roll as well. That roll basically stopped taking any falling damage as we came over that ledge. So if you're rolling, it makes you immune to all damage of all kinds. So you can dodge trebuchet shots with that, and you can also avoid taking falling damage. Natural regeneration kicking in there. It's often a very important thing as well, so just get out of a fight if you need to. If your heal's on cooldown and you're not going to do anything, just run away. There's no point in just giving yourself up as a free kill. If you can't support your team, especially in a structured PvP game where it's 8v8, you're not too relied upon. You can just run away and keep yourself alive for a few more seconds. And to be able to get back in the fight a bit quicker is obviously a massive help to your team. Coming out here, the red team are just going to take the victory in a few moments as they're just finishing off the players of the blue team. So in general, this was a pretty average match for a ranger on the Battle of Kylo. Nothing particularly amazing to point out, but I hope you enjoyed the video and the idea of it anyway. Leave me some feedback in the comments below if you want to see more sort of stuff like this. The idea is we're going to break down matches from players who aren't perfect. We want to see what they do wrong and we want to see what they do right. So leave me some feedback. Thank you very much.